So Nikhil, why don't you tell us what were your majors and concentrations and why did you select them?
Thanks, Sean. So actually, the process for figuring out which major I wanted to choose for my undergrad started way before Babson. In high school, I was really interested in business. I was interested in mock UN, and I was interested in a variety of other economics-based activities and extracurriculars. So from that, I decided that a business degree and a business career is probably best for me, at least back then. And in particular, I was doing a social enterprise in high school, which really gave me a lot of insight into running a business, uh, getting a team together. So that was quite good. And when it came to selecting my college choices, it was essentially which schools offer the best business degree. And of course, there are different facets of business. There's finance, there's marketing. And if you look at the rankings, each of those facets have often very different schools at the top of those rankings. So since I was interested in entrepreneurship, Babson is really well known for that. It's the number one entrepreneurship school for the last 20 plus years in the US. So that was the whole process behind applying to Babson. I applied early decision and I got in. So I was happy to be done with my university prep quite early.
Okay, great. So what was the admission procedure at Babson and how did you prepare for it?
So like any or like most US colleges, they're essentially looking for your SATs. They're looking for your high school grades. They also do really care about your extracurriculars. Uh, so it was essentially a function of making sure my grades, especially during the IB diploma years, year 11, class 11, class 12. I went to high school in Thailand. It was year 12 and year 13. So just ensuring my grades were fine. Didn't drop below, say, a 6 in any subject and try to get a 7 if possible. And then just doing the SAT a few times. It was the old format back then. It was a 2400 scale. So that was, SAT wasn't a big deal. And Babson did not require SAT subject tests, and they still don't. And then as far as my extracurriculars were concerned, it was all about telling the story in your college application. And I also did choose to do an interview. That's an optional part of the process at Babson, but I chose to do it. And my interview was great. He was an MBA student, so gave me an insight into that part of Babson as well.
Okay, great. So in your view, which other universities would be comparable to Babson for the courses you chose?
So the thing about entrepreneurship is, there's two ways to approach it. There's the more business side of things, and there's the more technical side of things. So another way to approach this would be perhaps going to an engineering school. And some engineering schools are more focused on entrepreneurship than others. I know MIT, Stanford, they produce a lot of businesses as well, even though their engineering school is an engineering school and not a business school. So that would be another other way of approaching this. I just chose not to.
Okay, subjects is Babson known for?
So like I said, Babson is known for its entrepreneurship program. And throughout your 4-year degree, you have various levels of exposure to that way of thinking. So in your first year, you are put into teams of about 10 to 12, and you're expected to start your own business, pitch an idea, pitch for funding from the school, talk about a lot of the logistics, and then take it from there, run your business for about 6 months, and then at the end liquidate it. So go through that whole exit process as well. So that was quite impactful. So that's a course that everybody has to do. And if you really have an interest in entrepreneurship, you can, of course, mainly in your 3rd and 4th year, take more courses in entrepreneurship. And it can be courses like negotiation. It could be courses like technology entrepreneurship. We have an engineering school right next door to us called Olin College of Engineering. So a lot of those, particularly technical courses, are co-taught with them.
Okay, so have you done any online courses?
I have not done any online courses per se, but Babson does offer some 2 credit. So a little bit of prelude to this. So most courses at Babson are 4 credits. Some you can do online, which are 2 credits. So they're kind of in addition to your regular coursework. They generally focus on one particular skill that you want to develop. And it's not completely online. You do meet maybe 3 times a semester, but most of the learning is done online, and assessment and everything is done online. So I did one on Excel, modeling with Excel.
Okay, great. So, what guidance would you give students who are considering to apply to Babson?
I would say really focus on your extracurricular curriculars, because a lot of people applying to Babson have the GPA, they have the SAT scores, and in fact, a lot of them are even interested in business. That's why they apply there. But what really makes you stand out? Often an analogy used for university admissions is they're trying to build an orchestra, and you really see that at Babson. You have people interested in the hard sciences, even who are doing a business degree. You have people who are artists who are doing business degrees. So that orchestra piece is really important. You need to show Babson where in the orchestra do you fit.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your advice, and I wish you all the best.
It's a pleasure. Thanks, Sean.